Hello, Bashar. It
And
is
to you, good day.
so exciting to talk to you, and I hope that you're doing well in this now.
Of course I am. I wouldn't be doing otherwise.
Well, that's wonderful.
What would you like to discuss today?
Well, the first thing I wanted to ask you about regarding the connection, the topic of connection and how important the breath is. I recently came across a book called The Arasatma, which is the alchemical breathing techniques of the ancients. And it says that the Montauk Indians were custodians of this sacred body of work and has a unique process of breathing that creates a balance between the three vehicles of experience: body, soul, and spirit. And my question is there a way to use this breath and the pranic tube in its full capacity as the channel for the flow of resources once we have cleared it completely from emotional blockages?
Well, yes, why wouldn't it be?
Well, I was just curious how the breath relates to the information passing through
All
our
right.
physical body.
It's based on the idea of the vibrational resonance of the oxygen molecule. So the idea is that the reason you take in and start breathing differently, the idea of oxygen, resonates throughout the body in a hyperspatial, hyperdimensional way that expands your frequency to be able to handle more and more higher frequency information and energies. So oxygen is the eightfold key, vibrationally speaking, and gives the resonance that is necessary for higher dimensional communication.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And does that connect with the idea of hydrogen being fractal and having a way to sort of create its own gravity that
It is related but not essential to understand that based on what we are now talking about. Oxygen is the key.
okay. And does it also relate to sort of the positive and negative flow of our bodies and how healthy we are as far as having enough positive and negative charge?
Yes, and if you'll understand the idea, you will understand that oxygen is the equivalent of the dimensional shape that you know as a Merkaba. Do you understand?
Yes, okay.
Because it is two interpenetrating tetrahedrons, each of 4 points for a total of 8, and interpenetrating representing the idea of as above, so below, or the positive and the negative flow. So when you think of the idea of oxygen and breathing in your meditative states, then also you can hold the image of a Merkaba, the double interpenetrating tetrahedral structure, in your mind to stabilize and accentuate the flow of the oxygen throughout your body into higher frequency domains.
Wow. That's really fascinating. And it reminds me, so another thing regarding the importance of fascia and a permission slip that she gave me was yin yoga. And we talked a lot about how, again, in as above, so below, the mycelial network as a part of the bigger DNA connection to the higher dimensional realities.
Yes. There are interconnections on every level.
Okay. How does light affect that connection?
Since everything is light, in what you might refer to as crystallized form, then light can act as a softening agent, an unlocking agent, depending upon the frequency of the light, to allow the crystallized light to be unlocked and reformed and transformed in whatever way, shape, or form benefits and is of service to your passion.
Okay, so my understanding is that I have left light codes in places. I recently came from Hawaii with a group of women, and it was very important that I go there physically. And Sarasota, Florida is another place. And I'm curious about what it is that I'm not what I'm supposed to do, because I understand the light is sentient and it's there and my body, it knows what to do. But I'm just curious about the idea of collecting light codes and how they are different or holding different information. And as we move through the galaxy, how the light is different for us now.
Well, again, the idea of light codes is simply the freezing of certain patterns of information in its natural form of light, and recollecting them can be reminding, literally reminding yourself more completely of who and what you are. You may have left breadcrumbs for yourself, as you say, seeds of yourself that form the process of gathering yourself back together.
Okay. And I have been working on that quite a bit. And as my last and other bigger question was, as I have realized that my biggest excitement in life was going through the process of addiction and healing, and not just healing for myself, but healing for my family. I understand it as sort of clearing generational trauma, generational patterns. And as that is my role, which I'm happy to take on, I've watched things change in my family, and I'm wondering how that then extends out to the collective. Is that something that I'm clearing by proxy, that then it just sort of goes out? Or is it a slow connection?
Remember, everything is connected. Everything you do is capable of being utilized by everyone throughout the multiverse. You may not always know how, you may not always know when, but the connection, the network exists, and everything you do and every choice you make and every energy you radiate offers an opportunity to all, in their own way, from their own perspective, the opportunity to consider other choices they may not have considered. Of course, it is always still up to them to match that frequency to have the experience that you may be offering. So the best you can do is simply put it out there and know that if there is somebody willing to take advantage of it, it is available to them. And that's the most you can do.
Okay. Well, that excites me in the sense that as I attend AA meetings or I'm out discussing and talking about my healing, that I'm hoping that somehow that translates. So that makes me feel good that.
Yes, but you don't have to hope. You don't have to hope.
Right. Okay.
You can know that it's available to those who wish to take advantage of it, but you have to remember that not everyone will, because you don't know what their path is right now. Eventually, all will understand in one way, shape, or form. But you have to let go of any need whatsoever of others to adopt what it is that you're sharing with them. It's none of your business what they do with it.
Right. And I've heard you say that, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I also was wondering about, so elephants can feel vibrations from hundreds of miles away.
Yes.
And I understand that sensory information can only be processed if you have the right organ to process it. Like dogs can smell things that we can't smell.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious if, as far as vibration goes and humans and the physical body, are the organs and the structures in our ears related in any way to that? The ones that we really don't understand?
No, but the heart is. The heart is structured to receive those deeper vibrations and translate them into the body. Sometimes other organs may assist, but primarily the heart is the organ that receives those deeper vibrations.
Okay. And is it the magnetic resonance that the heart creates through the heartbeat?
Yes.
That allows it to become bigger and expand our field?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I am just so grateful to have had this opportunity to speak with you. I thank you so much. The information that you put out, I apply, and it's very exciting to be able to be here with you today. So thank you.
It is for us as well, and it is our passion and our pleasure to share the information with all of you. Aveo.
Aveo.
Hi, Bashar. This is Allison from Arkansas. So my question is pertaining frequencies that are really, really close together, as well as soul contracts. So we hear all the time people, for example, having an accident, like they walk out into the street and a car hits them, and they say they never saw the car coming, and the driver says they never saw the person, that they just came out of nowhere. Is it possible that in situations like that, albeit extreme, that because of a soul contract and just the perfect timing, that even though these two individuals were not at that moment on the same frequency, but that the split second right before that happened, they merged into the same frequency, or one of them jumped to the other one? Is that a possibility? Because to me, that has so many other implications that I'm thinking of. So if you could give any insight on that, I would appreciate it very much. Thank you, Bashar. Love you.
It is actually a probability. Yes, that is correct, and that can happen, and happens more often than you may think. Because again, the idea is that a person may set themselves up for certain experiences, and they know they have also chosen certain moments to represent interactions with other realities, and they will wait until that synchronous moment to shift to that vibration so that what they have chosen to experience can happen, and so that what they have chosen to experience will not happen before that moment by being shifted out into a different vibration until they are ready to experience the shift into the vibration of the agreement with the others. Remember that you're constantly shifting, constantly, billions of times per second. So it is an orchestration, and a very precise one.
Good day to you, Bashar. Thank you so much for this interaction. I have much love and appreciation for you.
Our unconditional love to you as well. Thank you for the co-creation. What would you like to discuss this day?
Yes, please. I'm very excited. Can you please explain to me this yearning for expressing my sexuality that I've always had? How do I celebrate my sexuality in alignment with my higher self?
Well, again, all things must be consensual, representative of harmony and alignment and agreement in the expression of any creative outlet. And the balance must be achieved between different ways of expressing your creativity. The idea can sometimes be that if you are limiting your creative expression in certain ways, then other ways may be attempting to make up for it by expanding in the creative expression that way. But if all is in balance, then each will take its time, in perfect timing, to be creatively expressed in harmony and agreement with others with whom you may attract, who would then be in agreement to receive the creative expression through that modality. Is this helping?
Yeah, it does help, and I just to in your words, if I could more clearly have help in terms of walking through my doorway.
I will ask you a question. Is there any other creative expression representative of your passion that you are not expressing fully in your life?
Not that I can think of.
What are your primary passion expressions in life at this point?
Right now, singing and dancing and just being who I am in the sense of as a person.
All right. Do you feel that they are vibrationally equal to the idea of the sexuality expression as well?
I feel like something is missing.
Such as?
When I explore different avenues, I am expecting some sort of a lightning bolt of like I'm expecting an aha moment, and I haven't experienced that yet in terms of this is what I can pursue. This feels.
But you said that you are already experiencing the expression of your passion through singing and dancing and forms of sexual expression. Do none of these produce any aha moments for you?
Not in the way that I am, not in the way that I am expecting, and I am expecting.
All right. Who taught you to expect it to happen that way?
Myself.
Why? Why must it come with a lightning bolt in order to be valid?
Because I feel like big things need to feel big.
Really? Why so?
I'm not sure.
All right. I'll ask the question from this perspective then. Why are the things you're already doing that are representative of your passion, why are they not feeling big?
Because I feel like they can't provide for me in the financial way I would like them to.
Really? So you are insisting that only a certain form of abundance is what your passion can provide you, instead of opening up and relaxing into the different forms of abundance that could be supporting you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I am insisting.
Why? Do you not know that insistence is resistance and imposes limitations upon your ability to express your passion and creativity? Why would you choose to limit yourself that way by closing the doors through which all forms of abundance and support could be coming to you? Why insist on only one form as being valid?
I don't know. It's
Sure you do. Sure you do.
Because it feels like that has
Because
always
you
been,
have been taught to think that way.
Hmm.
Because you have been brought up in a culture that thinks that way. Because you're basing your worth on only one form of abundance.
Hmm.
So, have you heard us talk about all the different forms of abundance?
In the ways that it exists, yes.
Why are none of them as real as money?
Because it's been such an insistence to provide. My greatest fear is that I'll be poor with nothing.
I see. And therefore that's what will happen, because that's what you're focused on. Because you're only focused on the limiting idea that only one form of abundance can support you. And if it's not there, then the only alternative in your belief system is that you will be poor.
How do I relinquish that?
Well, you do have to truly understand how abundance and support works in connection to your passion. It is a complete contradiction to say that you're following your passion and yet your passion can't support you in all the ways that are necessary for you to be supported to continue to act on your passion. That's not a definition of passion. That's a contradictory definition that creates the experience that you're having. So you have to understand that you are misaligning your definition of passion. You think you have a definition of passion, but you don't.
I feel a lot better.
All right. You must relax into the knowledge that there are many forms of abundance, including being given a gift, including have something to trade, including synchronicity, imagination, communication. All these things can actually support you if you give free rein to your imagination. The idea of an over-focus on the idea of sexual expression can be, as we said earlier, the idea of imposing limitations on other forms of creative expression that would then result in actions through sexual expression that are the result of frustrations. So you need to really relax into the equality of all forms of abundance, all forms of creative expression. Know that every moment is an aha moment. Cherish it for what it is, and that everything that is happening is exactly what needs to happen. Stop invalidating your present, expecting it to look different. Remember, the true measure of change is not whether the outer reality looks different. The true measure of change is whether or not you respond differently, even if it looks the same as it did before. That's how the reflective mirror of physical reality knows you've truly changed. And then it can change, even though it may not change in the way that you insist or expect, because it will always change in the way that actually serves you best. And you have to be okay with that. Otherwise, you're not okay with the way your reality unfolds, and that means you're not okay with yourself. So, I will suggest to you the same mantra, permission slip exercise that I suggested to another listener in this transmission. And that is in the morning when you wake up, and at night before you go to sleep. You repeat 3 times each in the morning, 3 times each at night. And you can do this in the afternoon if you wish, it's up to you. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am who I am, and that is enough. And then start relaxing into allowing, not making, not forcing, allowing synchronicity to bring you the things you need to consider, to ponder, and remain in a positive state while you do so, allowing yourself to fully appreciate everything that comes to you, to see it through the eyes of positive reality, of positive light, and to feel the aha moment that exists perpetually every single second. That's what we have to suggest for you.
Thank you very much, Bashar. That satisfies my question. I would like to ask you another.
Yes?
Can you please tell me what connections I have made to other civilizations among the stars that are helping to inform my life on Earth now?
Most people on your planet have many common extraterrestrial energetic connections. Pleiadian, Sirius, Arcturan, Hybrid, Gray, Orion. There are a few others we're not allowed to talk about, but all of you have the connections you need that are giving you the assistance you need. You cannot receive more assistance than you're getting. You simply have to pay attention to the assistance that you're already receiving to benefit from it more and more. Well,
Thank you. You know, I do have 2 more questions, please.
Yes?
Your transmission titled The Last Days of Atlantis gave me a very emotional reaction. Can you please tell me what relationship I may have to Atlantis?
Well, like many of you, you're cross-connecting to people in that particular experiential era to draw from it, to add to your own story, and to create a more positive outcome than they created for their civilization.
Thank you very much. And my last question, I have 2 brothers. I have an older brother and I have a younger brother. And I love my younger brother so much. I just have so much love for him. Sometimes it's a lot for me. Is there anything that you can tell me about the relationship that the 2 of us have?
Not at this time. You will find that information out from a different source.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Bashar.
It is our passion and our pleasure. Good day. Aveo.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
And you as well.
And I have an Asian background, and we honor.
May I see your background?
Yeah, I am Japanese. So,
Oh, all right.
okay, and then so we honored our ancestors, and I'd like to know the relationship with my life and our ancestors' karma.
Karma is self-imposed. The idea is simply an urge to seek balance. You may be connecting to the idea of what you call ancestors in order to create a sense of searching for balance in this life, but this is what you have decided to do. You have imposed this idea of a process of seeking balance in your life that you're calling karma on yourself as part of your own agreement. That's all.
So sometimes we do the ceremony for purified our ancestors' spirit.
You may do whatever permission slip you wish, but it's just a permission slip that aligns with your belief system to allow you to give yourself more permission to be more of who you are. Your ancestors are happy to participate, but they understand that it's just a permission slip.
I see. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
But if it's fun, then by all means, have fun with it.
Okay.
Yes?
And then I have another question.
Yeah.
I'm doing the healing work.
Oh, all
recently.
right.
So some people says if we do the healing, to other person,
Yes.
we get bad spirit or something. We need to
Do you
purify.
want to believe that particular story?
I see. Okay, I can decide. But
Everything in every reality is real on some level. Anything you can imagine is a true story in its own reality. That doesn't mean it has to be relevant for your story just because you're hearing about it from someone else as part of their story. You get to decide whether it's true for your story or not.
okay.
Yes?
Yes, I
All right.
understand. Thanks so much.
You're welcome so much.
Good day, Bashar.
I know you good day.
It's so synchronized that the last session we had,
Yes.
my daughter was also called to ask the same problem, same questions, you know. But first,
Speak up so that all may understand you.
The last session we were here, my daughter was also called to
Yes.
ask a question, you know.
Yes.
Anyway, I want to thank you for being part of our lives and for helping us go through this lifetime of ours, you know.
We thank you for being part of our lives, all of you. We are family.
Thank you. The question is, it's been 2 years, and me and my wife are going through a situation where we're helping our daughter going through this divorce issue.
Oh, all right. How exciting.
It's very exciting. You know?
Yes.
So we have to be at a state of mind of being normal, you know.
Being natural. Not normal, natural.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're caught in a traffic. You know, it's just 2 years, and you have
You
to go
are
through,
what?
Caught in a traffic in 2
Caught
years.
in traffic.
Traffic, you know, 2 years, and you have to go through this. It's very challenging, very, very challenging.
Well, all right. That's good. Isn't it?
Okay, yeah. Well, we have to be in the state of normalcy, you know.
Naturalness.
And not be,
Naturalness.
yeah, and not be affected, you know.
Yes. When
So-
you are natural, then you have command over the idea of what affects you. And remember, there are no accidents. It's all an orchestration. If you are, quote unquote, stuck in traffic, there's a reason for it, whether you know it or not. It's an orchestration that serves you and maybe serves others. Sometimes the degree to which it's relevant for you to be there may be less than the degree to which it's relevant for others to be there with you. They may be getting more out of it, in other words, than you are in a sense. But by agreeing to be in such a situation with them, you are providing them the opportunity that they need, and that's a loving, gifting thing. So there's always a reason for it. Go with the flow.
Thank you. So the second question was, my granddaughter, well, the main issue was my granddaughter was only granted child therapy or child play therapy after 1 year of fighting for it. She claims that she was molested, but she only turned 3, no? So it's a pity to see her going through this.
All right.
What will happen to her?
What will happen?
Yeah.
Many different things will happen. There's no such thing as a prediction of the future. Future's in her hands. If she makes the ability to use such an experience, something that can help her and help others, and perhaps allow that assistance to make sure that it doesn't necessarily happen to others again on your planet, she can have used that experience in a positive way to strengthen herself, to help others who have also had similar experiences. That might be one way that she decides to go. There may be many other ways she decides to use that experience in life. But that's not set yet.
Will she be able to convince the therapist that she was really molested by the father?
There's no way to know that, but it doesn't matter. The point is what is her relationship with the idea that she has been through that experience, and how does she want to use that energy? How does she want to apply it in her life in a way that will transform it into something positive from something negative? That's the only thing that's really crucial. Not that anyone else believes her. Some people may believe her, some people may not. The point is, again, what does she do with that idea? What does she do with that belief? What does she do with that energy? How does she use it to help herself become who she prefers to be, and maybe in the process help others too? That's the point. Yes?
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Tadeo.
Monia.
One of the questions from our YouTube list, our Ustream listeners,
Yes.
is to which level of consciousness does you exist refer to? Human life has a beginning and an end, linearly speaking.
Yes.
Life is transitory.
Yes.
What happens to a frame of existence once it's been experienced?
But this is exactly what we're talking about. The perspective you consider to be you never changes, even though the circumstances and experience around you may. So no matter whether you experience something with a beginning and an ending in linear time, it's always being experienced by you, whatever the change may be. If you're asking what happens to that experience that you have already experienced, it's still always being experienced by that version of you, even though the version of you are now is no longer experiencing that, because everything exists as a structure. So the you that had that experience always has that experience, but when you say experience, you're implying linear time. You're implying a sense of experience. That's not what is meant by this. We are describing the structure. The structure exists as it is, with all versions of you embedded in all versions of those experiences, but they're not necessarily experienced as experiences by every single version of you. So the you are now has an experience because it's shifting its perspective constantly. That's how experience is created. But the structure that helped you create that experience will always be what it is. Always be what it was, always be what it will be. You can have your perspective of that from any direction you wish. You can even, in a sense, seem to revisit it if you wish. That's called memory in your linear time frame. But it's just a change and shift in perspective from your unique perspective. Is this answering the question? Because we understand that sometimes these multidimensional questions can be a little bit limited in your language as a translation.
Right. Well, let's talk about dead people.
Dead people. Do you see dead people?
No.
Are you sure?
I know
A lot
other
of people
do.
walking around on the surface of your planet are quite dead.
Actually, maybe something like that.
Oh, all right.
But, okay, so let's just say, you know, a person lives and then they die. And
Yes.
then the people who love them on Earth
Yes.
want to connect with them, and
Yes.
they might do it through a medium or through their own dreams.
Yes.
Okay, so what they're actually connecting with when they're connecting with that person in spirit
Yes.
is what?
Another version of that being.
So that's the dead person version of that being.
All right, yes.
And that person doesn't experience themselves as being dead.
Not in the way you mean it. They experience themselves as having shifted into another focus of reality, yes.
So in a sense, that version of yourself continues to live the same life, in a sense, because
It continues to know itself as the same basic fundamental core identity, even though it may take on a variety of different expressions or personas.
so this personality that a person is on Earth
Yes.
then becomes that personality
Not a personality
experientially?
necessarily, but an identity that is recognizable as itself to itself.
And then the you that's eternal and
Yes.
unbreakable in a
Which is the
sense.
same you. It's the same basic you. It's just the you that's now wearing different clothing.
I mean, it sounds like the you that's indestructible is actually a higher state of consciousness that recognizes that it exists eternally and that it never dies. Whereas
Yes, but it doesn't have to recognize that because it is a fundamental state. That's
of
what
that,
we're saying.
right.
It doesn't matter whether you recognize it or are conscious of it at all. it still is that way.
So are you saying that the minute you perceive yourself as a personality, you've created a separation between...
You've created the illusion of a separation. Not an actual one, that's not possible. But you can create the illusion, an apparent truth that there is a separation, but it's not the truth that there is no separation.
And since we actually only live one life, but we make connections from the present to all the other projections of our oversoul,
Yes.
how does that fit in with this? In terms
It
of the
fits very
person
well.
who dies.
Thank you.
What?
It fits very well.
That's good to know.
What are you asking?
The person who dies
Yes.
and then still perceives themselves as some version of that being.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Are you familiar with what has been sometimes reported in near-death experiences on your planet where a person goes far enough to have what they call a life review?
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
If that version of them didn't still exist, how do you think that would be possible for them to see that?
If that version of them didn't still exist.
If the version that was alive didn't still exist, how do you imagine a life review would be possible?
Right. It's
You
just,
see, it still exists. Just now they can look at it and experience it from another point of view of the you that they are, rather than experiencing it from the version of the you they were.
Right. And yet all of these versions still continue to exist. They're just like freeze frames.
That's what I'm saying. The reason you can have a past life review is because it actually still exists. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to perceive anything. It would really be gone. But it never is gone.
Okay, so that person that's experiencing the life review is actually now projecting its consciousness through the other frames that were representative of the life that the person actually lived.
Yes, but from another point of view.
Right. Okay.
It's like the idea is that what seemed solid from one point of view now kind of seems like a shadow from another point of view, but the shadow is still there. It's just not as substantial looking from that point of view.
So for each of us that are a particular personality in this lifetime, that then pass on and then become another version of ourselves in a more expanded way.
Yes, in a sense still contains the idea of the personality as part of your greater being, your whole being. It's just that you're not looking through those eyes anymore. You're looking from a different point of view of the greater being.
Okay, so you're just a more expanded version of yourself that includes the personality that was.
Yes, you are not actually a more expanded version. You're just more aware that you're more expanded at that point.
Okay.
Because you are expanded as far as you can ever be, because you are all that is. But you're changing your perspective of where you are within all that is, within the all that is that you are. You're looking from another perspective from within all that is at itself.
It's just interesting, the continuity, because you wonder at that level of yourself, do you then have greater ability to perceive other projections of your oversoul that are lives that you connected to while you were that particular personality?
Yes.
Okay. And anything else you want to say about that? When you're perceiving the other lives, it's quite a bit different than when you're the personality perceiving that.
Yes, it is. But that's the perception that that version of you needs for its next adventure.
Okay. So ultimately, it sounds like we experience ourselves as living a life and then transitioning to another reality state where we're aware that we had this life, we're aware of the people that we were with.
Yes.
However, we're experiencing ourselves in such a different way on that level.
Yes. Yes. But the point of all this and what we began this transmission with is that no matter how differently you're experiencing yourself, you're still experiencing yourself.
Right. You just know it's you.
Exactly.
You're still seeing...
That never goes away. Okay. You always know it's you. Even when you're all that is, you still know it's you as all that is. And the holographic nature of all that is makes that true for every single one of you. Each of you experience yourself as all that is.
So every version of you also experiences itself as being you.
Yes, of course.
Oh, that's pretty expansive.
Yes, it is. Is it time for your refreshment?
Well, we might.
What?
Let me check.
What are you
Okay.
checking?
I'm checking the time.
Time?
Well, yeah.
You're checking an illusion to see if you're hungry?
Well, Bashar, if you're hungry, we can stop.
I'm never hungry. At least not for food. For knowledge, yes.
And excitement.
Famished.
Well, we have a little bit more time if you want to talk, pick a name or two, or
Nope.
you're ready to go to lunch. I bet you that's Darryl.
The
that's ready to
timing,
go.
nope. The timing is what it is, and we trust it absolutely.
Okay.
Because you will see how it plays out later.
Okay. Well, since I
So-
trust you absolutely.
Trust the timing absolutely.
Okay.
Have your refreshment break. We will resume this transmission afterwards. Thank you. Ooh, how's it going?